cool. Flashpoint Paradox movie. You want to watch that?
Hang on, I just need to check continuity.
Continuity?
Yeah, well, how else are we supposed to know what's going on?
I assumed the movie would tell us. So, this is connected to the Justice League TV series?
Oh no, that's the DC animated universe.
I thought this was the DC animated universe.
Oh no. For clarity's sake, let's call that the Bruce Timm-verse.
Okay.
Well, DC, the company, wanted to make a series of animated movies unrelated to each other, so this whole line of movies was created. The DC Universe Animated Original Movies.
So, nothing to do with Bruce Timm?
Well, he was involved in the creation of them, but they're not his universe.
Alright, so they're a different continuity.
Not really, they're pretty distinctly unconnected. Different contrasting storylines, different voice actors, that kind of thing. Although some of them do directly follow each other.
But didn't you say there was a comic book movie universe based on the New 52 comic style of the characters?
Well, that's where Flashpoint comes in.
So Flashpoint is the start of this New 52 universe?
Well, yes and no. You see, in reality, Bruce Timm stepped down and was replaced by James Tucker. Then the movies started to connect and took on the New 52 style. But didn't really commit to fully New 52 stories. In Universe, Flashpoint is its own timeline, but due to Flash time travelling and messing with the past, he created a whole new timeline called the DC Animated Movie Universe.
Not the DC Universe animated original movies.
Let's just call them the New 52 movies.
So, Flashpoint is not a part of them?
Again, yes and no. Flashpoint started the universe, but continuity-wise it's not part of the same timeline. Clear as mud? Okay, in all seriousness, I have friends who have no earthly interest in comics. Please try explaining DC continuity to them. Also, please try to explain to me why I have all this in my head, but can't seem to remember to pick up my car keys right before I get into the car. So, since we are all living la vida lockdown, I decided why not create a whole new series of videos. And what better place to start than the DC Animated Movie Universe, which from this point forward I will be referring to as the New 52 Universe, because I thought about reviewing all the DC animated movies, not a set, but so I decided to start with the New 52 movies because they are the ones that are the most clear-cut as to which movie belongs in their universe. Not entirely clear-cut, which I'm going to get to, but the most clear-cut. Now, I was looking at the list, and some people put some movies on the New 52 list, some people don't. Some people think, oh, they're a branch-off movie, they're not part of the actual universe, but I just got a headache, and I decided, here's a good way to solve it. How about I just go on Wikipedia and use whatever list they have, because nobody cares if Wikipedia gets things wrong. So according to this bastion of truth, there are 14 movies thus far in the DC New 52 movies continuity. And those will be the 14 movies I will be reviewing. Which is kind of sad because I love the other animated movies, Crisis on Two Earths and Justice League Doom. They are two of my favourite Justice League movies out there. Tower of Babel is my favourite Justice League storyline ever. And Under the Red Hood is the best superhero movie ever made. But I won't be reviewing them for this series. However, if there is a DC animated movie you would like me to review that is not on this list, please let me know, because I am open to suggestions. And full disclosure, some of these I will be going into fresh, and some of them I will have seen before. So the ones I have seen before are Son of Batman, Justice League Throne of Atlantis, Batman vs. Robin, Batman Bad Blood, Teen Titans The Judas Contract, Reign of the Supermen, and Wonder Woman Bloodlines. So without further ado, let's start with the one that may or may not have started it all, Flashpoint Paradox.
Grandma taught me a prayer. Accept the things you cannot change, have the courage to change the things you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference.
She's dead. Okay, that's kinda cheating since I know the story, but you all knew she was dead.
Happy birthday, Mom. I'm so sorry. I should have been there.
I hate the I could have done something speeches because more often than not they're unrealistic and over-dramatized. This is a good it's my fault speech.
It was my fault, Alfred. I made them leave the theater. If I hadn't gotten scared.
Because that is how someone would legitimately feel and express their guilt in that moment. This is just lazy. We could have had a well-scored dialogueless scene with him just looking at his mum's grave so we can interpret his guilt on our own. And after a simple but legitimately good transformation scene, we get to the crime. Fight is a little uninspired, but basically fine.
Once again, it looks like you're the bottom, and I'm the top.
Then we get a reveal that Yellow Flash...
It's me you want, Thorn.
Thong?
Thorn.
Thong?
Thorn.
Thong is behind all this. He says to the other villains...
You lack conviction.
And tries to blow up Central City just as a giant fuck you to Flash, even if it means he dies too. Then we get...
Superhero landing. She's gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it! Woo! Superhero landing!
A very dramatized entrance by the Justice League, and by the way, I hate Aquaman's design in this movie. It's just so ugly.
It's future tech. Difficult to disarm without setting them off, even for me.
Humble much? And they all go off to disarm the bombs.
I'm not going to just leave you here.
Hal, go.
Isn't it a little early for this? I hate when they do this in superhero movies and they just expect the audience to care right away without putting in any effort. I get that this is because they're writing mostly for comic book fans, but here's the thing. I don't really care about the Flash. I mean, I like him. He has some great comics and I think as a character he's pretty charming, but I'm not a fan of Flash as a superhero. A lot of people get into different comic books through a well-made TV series or a well-made movie. This is your chance to create a new fan. So once again, isn't it a little early for the go, it's okay scene? Bullshit. You put no effort into that.
Looks like 25th century technology is pretty delicate.
Bullshit.
Look who's just joined the land of the living.
We're live outside the Cold Museum where Citizen Cold is battling Captain Boomerang.
Okay, we'll continue this hilarious leg bowling later. After the Flash has taken care of Citizen Cold.
Way to have a secret identity, Barry. Yeah, everyone? Flash is gonna fight the bad guy.
Barry, are you all right? Let me see your head.
I'm fine. Mom.
People have been acting so strangely with this terrible war hanging over their heads.
War? What? I think it probably has something to do with me being
gay.
Okay, that's funny.
Brace yourself for a shock. I'm the Flash.
Is that what the kids are calling gay these days? So, Batman and Cyborg are having a no-killing rule conversation, this time with Batman on the opposite side. Whoa, someone's been getting iron in their diet. And our obligatory exposition scene tells us that the Amazons invaded the UK, which is now New Themyscira, and the world is at war with Aquaman and Wonder Woman at the centre. I gotta tell you, it's really interesting to see an apocalyptic world where everyone is just basically living their lives.
And I told him about the invasion drill we had at school today.
I mean, just take a look at Doris here. She don't give a fuck. Barry and Batman, who turns out to be Thomas Wayne, have a...
Who the hell are you?
Chat. Meanwhile...
I'm up to my neck in Amazons! My name is Colonel Steve Trevor of the United States Special Forces. I'm here to retrieve Lois Lane. She's also one of the most beautiful women I've ever met.
Until now, you mean?
Humble much? No, 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 anyone but Steve! I'm just gonna need a minute. Meanwhile, Barry and Batman discover that Yellow Flash really wanted to give the middle finger to Flash, so he went back in time to screw the world up just to screw with Barry. And I thought Maleficent was petty. Meanwhile...
That's a lot of death, even for me.
Good to know that some things don't change. No! We only had one episode of Deathstroke Knights and Dragons! Actually, I'm totally okay with that. Rest in peace. Barry goes into the electric chair to get his powers back. Then we get a flashback. Okay, sorry. Revealing that this whole thing was a lover's quarrel. I gotta give the movie this, it does give us a far more believable portrayal of what a monarch with ultimate power would be like. Looking at you, every other Disney fairy tale pie-in-the-sky version of Aquaman ever. Barry's two worlds are merging and he's forgetting the old one, so he wants to get back in the chair and try again. Thomas doesn't give a fuck. Barry's healing kicks in, and we have the Flash. Lois Lane gets saved by an unseen speedster and picked up by some...
Fear not, good lady. Though our appearance is somewhat frightful, we're...
The Resistance.
Some Dungeons and Dragons characters. Flash sits up.
So I'm finally on the other end of that trick.
And they go on a search for Superman.
I don't hack into government systems, Batman. You do now. If you want me on your little suicide squad.
Hey. They rescue Superman. Cyborg's naivety reaches new levels. Superman has a freakout, Barry has a seizure, and Hal is...
On behalf of all humanity.
Now shut your hole already, you're ruining this for me.
Hal.
Prepare the armadas for surface invasion. The Amazon's judgment is at hand.
Sire, the aircraft has been intercepted and nullified. Would that all our shots be so lucky?
Hey, did Orm's voice just change?
Surface dwellers, my lord, not Amazons. They will pay for what they did to Queen Mira. The aircraft has been intercepted.
It totally did! Aquaman and Wonder Woman have a lame love conversation.
You murdered my wife, Diana.
She tried to assassinate me, Arthur. I was protecting myself.
I can't believe I ever loved you.
You never did.
Just fuck already! No, wait, that's what started this whole mess. Flash and Thawne chase each other, and it is revealed that Barry is the one who went back in time to save his mum, and somehow that affected things from before her death.
It wouldn't have changed what happened before her murder. Bruce's parents, Clark's Landing.
Thawne says,
You broke the time barrier, Flash. Ripples of distortion radiated out through that point of impact, shifting everything just a tiny bit, but enough.
Boo! Cop out! Superman turns back up to help. Wonder Woman kills Aquaman, and they are both bitches about it. Thawne is still running off his mouth, and...
You killed him.
And you're surprised by this. Why? Thomas tells Barry to...
Run!
Barry somehow manages to stop his past self from saving his mum, therefore creating the Paradox world. And that is so far removed from any feasible time travel explanation, I am not going to touch it. Barry manages to get home, and what's going on with Bruce's lips here? He delivers a note from Bruce's father. The mystery of where Bruce got his famous charm is solved, and Barry goes off to battle abysmal CGI, and all is right with the world. So, all joking and riffing aside, what are my thoughts on this movie? It was pretty good. I really like how the apocalyptic setting is basically just people dealing with it. living their lives like we all do in a crisis. I really like Thawne. His motivations were simple, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Not that you wouldn't have ended up here anyway, you hero, you.
He's such a bitch.
This was one of the more well done the hero can sometimes be as bad as the villain stories, because this did turn out to be entirely Barry's fault.
You didn't stop JFK from getting assassinated, or make sure Hitler stayed in art school. You saved your mommy. And in a supreme act of selfishness, turned the world into a living hell moments away from destruction. And I'm the villain?
And it wasn't like he was trying to do a selfless thing and it backfired. No, he was doing something entirely selfish for his own ends, and it basically destroyed the world. So good points for that. But I just wish they had put more effort into establishing the hero's hubris beforehand, instead of just saying Flash has a museum dedicated to him. Yeah, I need a little more than that. Establish the hubris of all the heroes if you expect us to believe that a tiny ripple in time would turn them all into murderous maniacs. I'm not saying it's impossible, but don't expect me to accept
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey
as an explanation for it. The designs were kind of hit and miss, a little too bulky for my liking, but not in any way awful, except for Aquaman. And I really have to commend the sheer brutality they were able to employ without making it feel cheap. I'm not going to stand here and say that watching Wonder Woman stab a defenseless child didn't have an effect on me. So all in all, pretty good movie. The explanations and the setup and the payoff were all fairly weak, which is usually a big deal, but in this case, it didn't tarnish the enjoyment of the movie nearly as much as I thought it would. Normally when characters change so radically and the explanation for those changes is so poor, it retroactively ruins the story, but in this case, that didn't happen for me. So all in all, Flashpoint Paradox was a phenomenally flawed but incredibly fun movie and a great start to the New 52 era. Also, Thomas is a better Batman than Bruce and I will fight you on that.